Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly revolutionary together, the seven-figure solo economy. We're going to unpack the exact digital playbook that everyday professionals are using right now heading into 2026 to trade in their corporate jobs for highly profitable solo businesses. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, let's kick things off with a number that absolutely blew my mind, 82%. According to recent data, a staggering 82% of small businesses are now owner-only. That means they have zero employees, literally none. If you thought the independent workforce was just some fringe movement, a temporary gig economy trend, well, this number completely shatters that illusion. The sheer scale of the solo economy is massive, and it is totally reshaping how we think about career trajectories in 2026.
And you can really see this hard line drawn in the sand between the old way of doing business and our 2026 reality. On the left side, you've got the traditional entrepreneur, right? Hiring massive teams, pitching venture capitalists for external funding, and always planning for that big exit strategy or buyout. But on the right, the modern solopreneur. The goal here is complete and total control. You work solo, or maybe you rely on specialized contractors. You bootstrap your funding so you can maintain ownership, and instead of building a company just to sell it, you're building a highly profitable, long-term lifestyle business that actually serves you. No office politics, no massive overhead. Just you and your business.
Now, if you're sitting there thinking this is just a young person's game, some 20-something coding away in a dorm room, take a look at this demographic surprise. A massive 25% of these new business owners are actually from older demographics, including retirees. Honestly, this is fascinating. We are seeing a huge wave of seniorpreneurs who are taking their decades of corporate experience, their vast networks, and their deep industry knowledge, and using them to build thriving solo businesses. It's a completely new chapter of growth for a generation that is completely redefining what retirement looks like.
Just to put the sheer speed of this acceleration into perspective, 72 million. Right now, over 72 million professionals consider themselves independent workers. Think about that for a second. That represents roughly 45% of the U.S. workforce. We are rapidly approaching a tipping point where working for yourself in some capacity might actually become the norm rather than the exception.
And hey, we aren't just taking some random industry blog's word for it here. Academic research actually confirms this is a verified global phenomenon. Thanks to cheaper digital tools and widespread internet access, the traditional barriers to entry have basically vanished. This allows anyone, anywhere, to compete on a worldwide stage without needing physical infrastructure. So we know the solo economy is booming globally for sure, but what are these people actually doing to make money?
Let's get into it. Section 1. High profit ideas for 2026. Low overhead, high scalability.
So, the absolute best ideas for 2026 generally fall into these four major buckets: AI and automation services, niche consulting, productized services, and digital products. What do all of these have in common? Well, they avoid expensive physical inventory, they don't require leasing retail space, and they all heavily leverage digital tools and automation. You are essentially selling your brain, your expertise, and your systems rather than shipping physical goods.
Let's break that third one down real quick. Productized services. Honestly, this is a total game changer. Instead of quoting every single project differently and constantly haggling over hourly rates, you take a custom skill, like SEO, graphic design, or copywriting, and you turn it into a repeatable, flat-fee monthly package. For example, you might charge a flat $2,000 a month for 4 blog posts and website optimization. It gives your clients a highly predictable cost, and crucially for you, it brings in stable, recurring revenue so you aren't starting at zero every single month.
If you want proof that this works in the real world, just look at Ryan Clark. Ryan was actually laid off from his job as a sales engineer. He pivoted, developed a really deep niche in Microsoft 365 and SharePoint, and ended up building a $2 million consulting business right on Upwork. His core philosophy? Sell yourself, build long-term relationships, and be resilient. And get this, he didn't hire a massive agency team to do this. He subcontracted with other freelancers to scale his offerings, all while remaining the single point of contact for his clients.
Another wildly scalable route is the digital knowledge business. This is where you package up what's in your head and sell it repeatedly through online courses, paid newsletters, think Substack or Beehive, and private communities. We are tapping into a global e-learning market here that is projected to reach up to $400 billion by 2026. $400 billion. The beauty of it is that you build the product once and you can sell it 1,000 times with virtually zero marginal cost.
Christina Galbato is a perfect example of the power of this model. She actually started out as a travel influencer, realized there was a massive demand from her audience to learn exactly how she was doing it, and she pivoted to become a multi-million-dollar course creator. By simply taking action to help her community and listening to her gut, she built a highly scalable digital empire without needing a massive corporate structure behind her.
Furthermore, we absolutely have to talk about the elephant in the room: artificial intelligence. The AI market is exploding right now, and traditional small businesses, like your local plumber, your accountant, the law firm down the street, they are scrambling to keep up. Offering AI workflow setup is a massive opportunity for 2026. By simply learning how to use tools like Zapier or Make, you can help these businesses automate their invoices, organize customer data, and schedule social media. You instantly become their indispensable tech wizard.
And listen, in this crazy, fast-moving digital landscape, perfection is literally the enemy of progress. As music producer Illmind demonstrated, he built a 7-figure business selling digital beats and drum kits with zero initial industry connections or managers. Moving with speed is everything. Don't be afraid of trial and error. Put your service or your digital product out there, see how the market reacts to it, and iterate rapidly. But right about now, you might be asking yourself, okay, but how does one single person actually manage all this marketing, fulfillment, and administration without totally burning out?
Well, that brings us to Section 2, Scaling Without Adding Headcount, the 7-figure digital engine.
So how do you do it? Instead of an expensive in-house team, you use this 3-step digital engine. First up, subcontract. Delegate those specific, non-core tasks to talented global freelancers. Second, automate. Deploy AI and automation tools like Zapier to handle all that repetitive administrative work, data entry and email follow-ups. And third, maximize online visibility. Use elite SEO toolkits like SEMrush to dominate search engine results and literally let the data find your customers for you. Now, of course, it's not all sunshine and massive profit margins. If you're going to build a lasting business, we have to talk about the risks. Which leads perfectly into Section 3, Mitigating Your Business Risks, How to Survive the Solo Economy. Because when you're a solo operator, your points of failure are highly, highly concentrated. You're looking at things like complete dependency on a single platform's algorithm, where one sudden tweak can slash your income overnight. Then you have operational risks, cybersecurity vulnerabilities, data breaches of your client's sensitive information, and the ever-present threat of financial liability and client lawsuits if something just happens to go wrong.
So how do you shield yourself? You basically have to map your specific digital liabilities directly to the right business insurance policies. If your consulting advice accidentally causes a client financial loss, you need professional liability insurance, which is also known as errors and omissions. If you manage client data and suffer a hack, cyber liability insurance is your ultimate safety net. And for those basic risks like accidentally damaging a client's property while you're on site, general liability insurance is an absolute must. Protecting your downside is totally non-negotiable. Which brings us to our final thought for today. The data, the academic research, the real-world case studies we just looked at, they all point to one undeniable fact. The digital tools and the market demand are perfectly aligned for independent workers right now. So the question isn't whether you can build a highly profitable, successful solo business in 2026. The real question is, which idea will you choose to pursue and when will you start? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this sparks some serious curiosity for your own solopreneur journey. Now get out there and start building.